I've had I'll get my first good night's sleep tonight.
Why?
For almost 49 years.
Oh, what's happened?
Scotty dogs are becoming extinct.
Oh, that's good.
Have I told you my trauma?
What happened?
Picture the scene.
Okay,
Little baby me. Same
Oh.
size head, little baby body.
I could imagine. That's exactly what I did.
In the baby bath.
Oh yeah, the plastic.
Sploshing in the bubbles.
Happy.
1971.
No, you weren't born yet.
No, 1976. 1976.
Jesus. Okay.
That's how traumatised
Yeah,
I am.
that's how bad it is.
It's a cosmic injury.
Okay.
Come out of the bath. My granddad's Scotty dog.
Mm-hmm.
He was an imaginative man. It was called Scotty. Ran at me like a fucking velociraptor.
Right.
Teeth. All I could see was teeth.
Oh my God.
Tyrannosaurus dog. Just fucking canine. Just fucking
Scary.
slavering. Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yeah, yeah.
Coming over the fucking 1970s kind of shag pile rug.
Oh.
Snarling. Bit me on the baby cock. On the on the bollock. On the wee nut.
The wee nut.
Ken the nut.
A medical man, I
Ken
see.
edamame beans.
Yes.
Baby balls are kind of like that.
I'm not. I don't know.
But I can speak about baby balls because I'm speaking about my baby balls.
Okay.
Savage. Bit. Held on.
Okay.
Shoot me about like a rag doll. Let me go.
From the balls.
I've still got the scar. Do you want to see it?
No, I don't.
Are you sure?
I'm
I'll
really
send you a picture.
I'm quite positive.
So that fucking dog bit me in the cock. On the baby cock. 1976. And finally people have wised up and they're not buying these fucking animals. People think the XL Bully's dangerous. It's the fucking Scotty dog. Have you seen the nose? Just this giant muzzle. It's covered in hair so it can soak up all the blood.
This has hurt you.
Terrible.
Oh my God.
So thank fuck. And they're on the TV. And Naga Manchetti said to her, lovely dog.
Mhm.
What do you like about the dog? The woman said, oh, they're a Marmite dog. You either love them or hate them. Well, I fucking hate
You
them.
hate them.
They
That's
said,
fair.
well, what's a good fact about it? It's willfulness. They're stubborn. She said,
Stupid.
he said, no, they're supposed to be they're so intelligent. She said, one day you'll throw a ball, it'll run and get the ball taken back to you. Next day it's like, fuck off, I'm not doing it.
What's the point of these dogs?
What's the point of that dog? So
Are you all right?
I'm calmer now. I might just give up this podcast. I don't need to vent anymore.
Well,
This
I think
is-
a lot of people would be happy with that.
This is injury that's just like fucking fueling this.
Although I was telling you, we have been told by our watchers that we have a really good looking podcast and
Yeah.
our background is better than most.
Pretty much
Because
accidental.
it's just not
I've watched some.
Marvel.
So, again, the ones I really hate, the guys that have just got the carved ox skull.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a
it's-
cliche.
No, you don't. We put up stuff that we get from people
And it just gathers.
or collect.
It's gathered.
And
Like,
this is-
like a fungus.
But I don't like just Marvel toys.
No,
Because
fuck.
that's speaking to someone to say, listen
You know,
to us. It's a bit.
Cape Ross has a Marvel room. And over lockdown, he spent about £5,000 or £6,000 on figurines.
I'm sure he did.
He's fed up with them now.
Doesn't know what to do with
He's
them.
like
But can't,
that.
he'll
He's
go,
to go
I'll
in
get
and-
a load on eBay.
He's
You don't.
He used to go and dust them. He convinces me they're an investment.
Yeah, they're not.
They're out the box, mate.
Although,
And he's played with them.
I have finally
Mhm.
got something that can be considered an investment.
What's that?
Years ago,
Mhm.
I moved from Canon cameras to Fuji in the
Oh,
X series, and I got an
oh.
X100S
Mhm.
years ago.
Mhm.
And now, for some reason,
Uh-huh.
they're like the most popular camera on the planet, even the old ones.
Oh.
And my camera is currently going for like 150 quid more than what I paid for it.
Well, that's wonderful.
So,
Is this a digital camera, film camera?
yeah, digital.
Digital, okay.
So I am
And
going
what's
to be
so, why are
selling.
they so popular? What's so,
Apparently, Instagrammers took to them.
so they're not the best quality, but there's something
They're
about them.
fantastic. They're not a cheap camera. They're
Right,
a very, very
okay.
good quality, like rangefinder type of camera.
Oh, okay.
But it's an old camera,
Oh, well.
and people are going crazy.
you've-
Mine's is in perfect condition.
You've touched it, so it'll be grimy.
Mine's is in perfect condition, so I'm going to sell it
You'll need a toothpick to winkle
because
that
I've got so many cameras now, and the newer ones are way better than that. Even though that was top end at the time.
Okay.
But the new ones come out,
Mm-hmm.
the very new version of it,
Uh-huh.
and it's before it's even been sold. The pre-orders, it's Fuji's best-selling camera ever,
Gee.
and it's almost $2,000.
That's a
Where's
lot.
the money coming from?
I
It's
don't know.
so expensive.
Exactly.
But anyway,
So someone in my specs.
yeah, they're filthy. I will point out the photo frame in front of us. You'll notice that someone, don't get mad, there's one picture on its side. I don't know how it happened. It just spontaneously jumped on its side. And
It's
I was
because of
trying
that
this
big
morning,
ugly face.
They've
It's
tipped
just
it.
tipped it.
and I'm trying to get it back, and it doesn't. So I'll
Don't.
take the card home, and I don't know what's happened.
If that, what I'm doing, I'll look at it. I've never looked at it.
I bought this second hand.
But if that picture gets lost to time, it's
It's
no
not.
bad thing.
It's not a great
No,
loss.
it's not like the Elgin marbles or anything.
Can I start with something today?
Let's hear it.
I want to apologise to you.
What for?
Last week you told
This?
me. No, not the show. I'm quite proud of it, so don't
Oh,
start. I get
okay.
very sensitive about it. Now,
Uh-huh.
last week I came in with a can of Monster, and people have pointed out when you said to me, "Don't drink that," there was seriousness in your eyes.
Mhm.
You actually were telling me not to drink it.
Well, I know what you're like.
I drank it, and I have never had diarrhea like that in my life.
Yeah.
I went downstairs, and I sat down and went, "Oh, I had a bit of bubbling," and it went just a snap. And I looked down,
Like a
and I was like, "Was that
like
already in
knicker
there?"
elastic.
Something broke.
Did it come out green?
It came out in one amorphous glob.
I watched on YouTube. I like to watch the high pressure water hoses that can cut through steel.
Oh, I like that.
Did you cut the toilet in half?
I almost had to just leave the building and never come back.
The you
There
look
was a
at it,
head on it,
it's
like
called-
on beer.
It's called Monster.
There was a head on it. It
It's
was
a
frothy.
product called Monster.
I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like I'm having diarrhea. I just sat down and thought I need to go there. Bang! What was
Ken,
that?
If there was like a bag of crisps called Shoplifter,
And do you want to know the worst
or
thing?
a chocolate bar called Pedophile, you wouldn't eat it.
There was no smell.
No, it's funny.
There was nothing.
Because it smelled.
Because usually when you have diarrhea, the whole place is.
So
And I was
the chemical, that's because you've leached all the chemicals into your body. So all the nasties
part
from
taurine now.
You're part. I think taurine's the least of your problems. I
It
don't know
was-
what's in there.
I have never.
Heavy. Can the Germans? They were
Mhm.
going for heavy water.
Yeah,
The heroes of Telemark.
they should have just used
That's
Monster.
just use Monster.
But honestly, and then my stomach swole up after it.
Remember
Not
you-
painful, just
No,
as
just
like
swelled up.
pregnant.
I'm like pregnant.
And
Okay,
then
like pregnant.
Throughout the day, it went away,
Oh,
but no pain, no nothing.
oh.
Just this unbelievable. It was like drinking paraffin at the hospital, and they
It's
clear your guts
disgusting
out.
stuff. You didn't eat that shit. Didn't Said I'm got a can of Coke
That's
here.
fine. Do not have
But
Monster.
remember when they used to say, "Look, here's some dirty money, dirty 2 pences. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
put it in Coke and it comes out shining."
Yeah, I suppose that's a sign.
The same thing happens with brown sauce, though, and I love a bit of brown sauce.
I love brown sauce.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
I tried to
You know
explain
the
to Americans.
it's
I go,
ta-
"What flavour is it?" And you go, "Brown."
Tamarind.
Tamarind. What's that?
It's a fruit.
But the flavour is brown.
The flavour is tamarind.
No, but the flavour is brown sauce, and the flavour is brown.
No, its flavour's tamarind. It
If
tastes
anyone
like
wants to know what a flavour,
tamarind.
mm-hmm.
It's like prawn cocktail crisps, a tomato flavour. Brown sauce is tamarind flavour.
Do you have ketchup or do you have red sauce?
I have it. I call it catsup.
Of course you do. Of course you do. It's red sauce. There's red or
You
brown.
don't call it red sauce.
It's red.
You're not on a Soviet nuclear submarine.
It's red or it's brown.
People look at you, you sad cunt.
it's
Why?
not.
You're
That-
like there. You're standing in the
Everyone
supermarket.
called it that.
You've got your open can of Monster in the supermarket, and you go into the room, poor overworked member of staff. You're like, "Have you got red sauce?" And women's like, "Oh God, here's
No.
another one."
Right. When you're a kid and you go into the thing, there
Uh-huh.
was red sauce, there was
No,
brown
No,
sauce.
you fuck. What
Right.
do you call salad cream? Do you call mayonnaise
salad
white
cream.
sauce?
No, salad cream.
You fucking do as
It's
well.
salad
White
cream.
could have white sauce. Could
Salad
have
cream.
yellow sauce. What do you call fucking?
No, it was only the posh chippies that had the yellow sauce, and nobody liked the yellow sauce.
$1,000 dressing. Could I have pink sauce, please?
Yep. No,
What do you
don't
call
know.
tartare sauce? Could I have kind of white sauce with green saucy bits in the sauce? Fuck's sake.
Get straight into, because I've got a show to do today,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
want to.
Is
do
that
it.
the one from last time?
That's the one from last week, but it's very good because it has a point.
Oh,
Right.
It's
So
never a good thing to have.
this
a
is
point.
text from
Oh.
Rattle Badger.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if it's Rattle, Rachel, I don't know.
Rachel Badger.
Rachel.
Rachel
Badger.
Welsh's Badger.
Oh, that's it. Please discuss. Who would you consider the worst group of fans? Football club diehards, classic Trekkies, fans of the MCU, fans of certain musicians, Taylor Swift, Metallica, Crowded House. We'll get to that. Feel free to include others if you think there are worse ones out there. I'm talking obnoxious, gatekeeping attitude, just horrid to the casual. You know what? That's an excellent question.
I hate all sport, and
But-
followers of sport are idiots. I think some of our listeners
They're all followers
follow
of sport.
sport, so they're idiots. Double idiots.
Doubly idiots.
Trekkies
Yeah.
are weird. An old friend of mine, his old auntie, she was a massive Trek fan, and she used to go about in a wee Nissan Micra, but it was white and it had the numbers of the Enterprise on it.
Right, okay.
But I saw recently Richard Picardo. I think he's Richard Picardo.
I
He
know
was
what you
the
mean.
Doctor in Voyager.
He was the star of an absolute runaway star of Inner Space.
Yeah,
the cowboy.
He's a genuinely wonderful actor. Very nice chap as well. But he's on a Star Trek cruise. And you saw him in another minor character from the Trek verse, whatever it's called. And over their shoulder is just a fucking Roman orgy with pointy lugs. Filthy fuckers. Filthy, dirty bastards.
Yeah.
Klingons.
I could only imagine.
Can jizz running off their head
Oh,
grooves.
stuck in it.
Fuck, that's how it's glued on, just a handful of jizz.
Oh,
Just
don't.
filthy. All those green women that seem to just be prostitutes. and
yeah.
stuff, they're all over the couches, just smearing everywhere. William Shatner's going about, and it's a big green ring round his cock. You know what I mean? He's just, ugh. But they're not as bad as football fans.
No, they're awful. But I have to say, as a lot of our
listeners
listeners and viewers know, I started a war with Crowded House fans.
Crowded
Just
House.
a joke.
The Survivors were on Sunday morning TV a couple of weeks ago. They're old men.
Of course they are.
It's wild. You look at them and go, Jesus Christ, because they weren't young. They were never young.
Mhm.
Crowded House had their fame. They were getting on a bit, weren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
But they're old, nice guys.
Well, it's been pointed out, I'm getting old. Dude,
Oh yeah,
I am.
We are old, yeah.
I'm 53 this
But
year.
it's jarring when you see somebody from your time who you think of as young, and you suddenly see Helen Hunt.
Yeah, oh, yeah. But what it is with me, I've suddenly got a white beard.
Yeah,
And that's the weirdest thing happened with my beard over the last few years. It went from ginger to blonde to white on one side and black on the other.
yeah.
So it just looked ridiculous. Then all of a sudden it's just went white.
That's about why.
So that's what I finally caught up.
Age, but just you see people you've not seen
I'm
for
quite
a while.
happy with it.
And when they're not superstars, so they can't afford the top-notch surgery,
Yeah.
they can really go downhill fast.
It happens. It happens. But
Have you seen Kevin Costner's big pudding neck now?
yeah, it's really strange.
I love Kevin Costner. He's in the biggest show in America,
Mm-hmm.
but his hubris, his ego is so huge. He's like that, I'm leaving. And he's left before his story. He's fallen out with the guy that does the show.
Right, okay.
And he's like, I think it's called, what's it called? Shitemeyer. Or it's about modern day cowboys.
Yeah,
I've never
as-
seen an episode of
you
it.
see clips of it.
It seems to be American nativism a little bit.
because
But
it's
no-
all very macho.
yeah,
and,
nativism.
I think they're all criminals in it.
It's
aren't
something.
they? Yeah.
It's hijinks. He's walked away from it under a bit of a cloud,
Uh-huh.
and he said to himself, I am putting everything on a 4-movie miniseries about the epic Wild West.
Oh no, he's obsessed with that shit.
4 like 2 hours a pop,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Have
Like,
you ever seen Dances with Wolves?
Yeah.
It's shit.
8 hours.
Oh god.
Allegiant. The thing, my big problem with Dances with Wolves, there's a lot to kind of like it. Some of it is beautifully shot. My big fucking massive problem
Mm-hmm.
is he falls in love, and it's a white woman.
Yes.
Could it not just have been a native girl? Why does it have? And I like the actress. She was in Battlestar Galactica, but I thought that anyway. This 4-hour thing. It's
Yeah.
called The West, or
Mm-hmm.
the fucking legend of my moustache. It's something like that. Big show.
I saw his moustache.
It's cost £100 million per film.
Oh my god.
He's got 2 done. He fucking he mortgaged his house
Mm-hmm.
to part fund it. He put his own money in. Nobody puts their own money in.
That's crazy.
His wife said, "It's either me or that film you're making." He's like that. I'm going with the film. So she divorced him over this fucking thing.
This will be like Cape Ross in his Marvel room.
It's not on telly. It's only going to be in cinemas. He's
Right.
like this. I'm winning back cinema.
Oh.
He's not got funding for the second 2. They reckon it's too big. It's going to be a flop. It can't make back its investment.
Oh my God.
But it's
And
got
there's no superheroes in it.
There's a lot of stuff. He's banking on the fact folk are going to go, Cowboys are back. That's a risk. But you've got handed to him. That's quite a move.
Well, he's an odd one.
And this is the same man who was in the hotel in St Andrews,
yeah.
got a massage,
Mm-hmm.
and thought the lady was going to give him a happy ending.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw him because he had his yacht
Mm-hmm.
just in the bay.
Yeah.
And I saw him, I saw Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, is that her name? They were standing right
Mm.
beside.
I'm not
And I
a
was
fan
like,
of
ugh,
Jennifer Aniston.
Ugh, as soon
Just
as
a,
you
it's
see,
just a nose. She was just a haircut.
and I couldn't go surfing that day because of them.
Mm.
Everyone was closed
My
off.
auntie had the hots for Kevin Costner. She liked him more than Sean Bean, and I think she lost her mind over it.
It can happen. It can happen.
Yeah, so
but
that
anyway,
was that thing. Okay.
anyway, fans. No, the Crowded House thing started as a joke.
Yeah.
I said on a Crowded House forum, R.I.P. Neil Finn.
Yeah.
Now, that went so wrong,
Uh-huh.
and some people responded to me quite aggressively.
Right,
So I
oh.
went back saying, but the music's not real music. Do you know it was all programmed in an early 80s drum machine?
Ooh.
I'm just making They went fucking mental,
Oh.
saying they've never used a drum machine. Wait, I know.
That, are they like Luddites?
And
Are they essentially like remember the Levelers? What happened to them?
they probably just died of like cider. But honestly, I got abuse
Oh.
constantly for a year after this.
Imagine Neil Finn was eaten by a shark.
Oh, that would be terrible. Terrible.
He's so old, the shark wouldn't be interested.
This,
I wouldn't even chew him. Just sniff him. Does the shark
This
have
they can
nostrils?
smell, so
They
they
can
just
smell
go,
it.
oh,
Oh, it smells like old.
awful.
Old. I'll leave that.
Old person.
I'll
I'm
go
not doing
for a
it.
seal instead.
So I'd have to say the fans' experience I've had.
My experience with football fans, I hate football. Never watched a game of football in my life. Rugby, I hate. Cricket,
Don't know
all
anything
of them.
about it. Yeah.
All shite, snooker, garbage.
Don't know. Yeah.
And the same goes for fuckers that watch people playing video games. That's just a sport.
I
Don't
love
do
it. Shut the
Bull-
fuck up. It's
Bullshit,
great.
Bullshit.
I
Terrible.
love it.
Awful.
Great.
So I don't like that either. And those fucking, at least football fans smarten themselves up. At least soccer casuals wear a nice jacket. Fucking people that watch gamers, they don't even wash their bollocks. They're
You're
just
right, I don't. It's been pointed
sitting in
out.
their own
We don't
nappy.
say wash your balls either at the end of the show.
We don't.
It kind of.
His balls got
we
dirty.
forgot. I
His
think-
balls got dirty again.
It was Mr. Badger pointed it out, and I think
It's without us telling him he forgets.
he forgets.
Okay, Raquel Welsh Badger.
Raquel Welsh
Badger.
needs. We need
Wash
to.
your balls. I bet he's got one giant ball and one tiny little ball.
He does.
Ken, when you open an orange sometimes,
Oh, and there's a wee
huge-
satellite.
There's a tiny
Right,
little.
a wee satellite
a
in
wee-
it.
right
yeah.
next to one of the big slices is a tiny little
Tiny
one.
wee one. It's him.
That's him.
Well,
No,
what
it
we'll
would-
do?
Is
we'll,
he not
we'll
in New
remember.
Zealand?
Yeah,
So it'd be an exotic fruit. What's a nut? What's a
a
what f-
banana.
No, what fruit's native to New Zealand?
Don't say anything. I know where you were going with it. No, don't. I was going to say a joke as well. Please don't. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, football casuals in the 80s, I was on the top of a bus waiting to go
They
home.
used to wear slide-on shoes.
And there was a fight
Yeah.
in the street, in Reform Street. And I was on the bus coming up it. And that's when it was all open. It wasn't all pedestrianised. And I watched as they rammed. It was like Braveheart. When all
Helm's Deep.
boom together, and people were lying unconscious.
Yeah.
There was blood.
Yeah.
You could see drops of blood everywhere, and then people were walking and getting stabbed, and they were all holding their chest, and I was just watching. But as a kid, you just go, "This
The-
is
The
great."
Dundee soccer casuals were shit.
There was just
Funny enough, the Aberdeen ones were pretty handy. They used to go down to Glasgow and cause mischief.
it was just mental.
I watched a documentary,
Not good.
and it was about former casuals. They called themselves casuals, and they wore like Pringle V-necks, and they'd wear the chinos,
Yeah,
funny fighting clothes, and they'd wear these slip-on shoes.
with a little gold chain
Yeah.
thing on them. Yeah,
Not good for kicking somebody's head in. But they followed this one guy who was like a fucking headhunter for Aberdeen. He'd been, in his day, he'd been a bit of a menace, caused a lot of problems. But he'd sorted out his life, and he was a middle-aged guy now, and he'd family, and he's out in his garden just playing with his kid. He would give up everything.
it's
To be
still in
fighting
their
again.
eyes. They loved the fight.
He never, life has been shit ever since for him. And he looks at his kids, and he would just, if they said to him, "Do you want to go and Rami in Union Street?" he'd be fucking back. He'd love it. He'd absolutely love it.
How could you
It's-
love someone like
well,
that?
No, but it's tribalism. It's young men proving themselves. It's as old
I
as
never
time.
went through that. I mean, when
No.
I saw that sort of violence, there was people like stabbed. There was
Have you
blood
never
everywhere.
been in a fight? A big fight?
With lots of people? No,
Yeah.
never.
I've been in the biggest. I've been in a couple fights when I was a doorman where it's been someone like out of fucking the Wild West.
Right.
Keep expecting Kevin Costner to pop up,
Okay, and a moustache.
but it was to the extent of chairs being thrown about.
Right,
It was like
okay.
kind of like can people getting thrown through windies and stuff. It was almost that, and it fucking kicked off in a pub one time. We got set upon, staff and us, and it's a big rammy, and it got pretty nasty. But at the end of it, when the dust settled and everybody fucking chuked and made up and walked their separate ways, everyone was fucking euphoric. Everybody
it's
was
all the adrenaline.
everyone was fucking
Yeah.
pumped about it. Nobody'd been seriously hurt. There was a few injuries, but yeah, it was wild. So you could see it could be intoxicating.
Addictive, yeah. I did start a riot,
Mm-hmm.
and that was an accident. I was playing a gig in a pub just up from the train station.
And you started noodling.
No. I was.
They all threw
we're waiting to
themselves
go
out the
on, and all
windows.
these guys came in,
Right.
and they're looking around,
Oh.
and then we're looking for some. I went, oh, they're playing up at the Westport bar,
Oh.
and the guy was nice. He went, oh, thanks very much, mate, and all left. And I noticed just loads of people passing,
Oh.
and I don't know what caused it, but they went in. The Westie was destroyed. A girl was put in a coma. There was just a complete war went on. The police
Was that
went
the
in.
Westport? Which one? The West?
That was, you know where the casino is? That used to be a car park in the Westport.
Yes,
in
I
there.
know. Yeah, I remember. The
And-
Westport was a terrible. That was the
That was our main
you went up.
venue.
There was an upstairs bit.
That was where I used to play
Yeah.
all the time. That was main venue.
Well,
and I've seen fighting in there.
I worked in the Firkin at the time when that was still there, and we used to go in there. So sadly, I've probably seen you, but you must have been a bit shit.
I was.
But there was Coconut Grove was next to there as well.
The Coconut Grove used to be called the Barracuda.
Yeah,
And it had,
Barracuda.
and when you went in, the door had big teeth.
Yeah,
And they cut the teeth off and called it the Coconut Grove. It was so stupid. But in the Westie, I have seen a guy. I was playing and he started dancing, and then he just vomited all over the
Oh.
place. Then this little girl, long black hair, 5 foot tall, runs, jumps through the air, jumps on his head and starts punching his ears. And I watched her hang on his back and bite the top of his head. And I thought, you can't bite the top of the head. He threw her and grabbed his head, and he pulled his hand back, and there was blood
Yeah,
everywhere.
but she could have been allergic to people. I watched a
Went
terrifying thing the other
crazy.
day.
And I'm like playing
This
guitar.
woman, it's like a eating disorder. But this woman, she was sick one day.
Yeah.
She ate something that made her sick, and then from then on she couldn't eat. She's developed this
Is
condition.
it a metaphobia? Is that
No,
it?
they don't like texture or so any crunch, any lumps, anything.
Oh, God.
Yeah, basically all you can just about manage a push is soup. And as a lot of maybe autistic people might suffer from it. But as a young laddie, starved to death at 7 because they just couldn't get him to eat.
Oh, that's shocking.
It's just a thing.
Oh, that's
phobia
horrific.
of food, yeah. So maybe, but some people, I've got a phobia of being sick and seeing people sick.
I don't like it.
That wee lassie's seen him sick, and that's an
Yeah.
attack on her.
But honestly, I watched her fly through the air. But she bit him on the top of the head. I see her with her kid.
Oh,
We're all middle aged now, and I see her
Yeah.
going around all
she
normal.
said, "All right, bite her."
She and she was so nice.
Oh,
But I watched her turn,
oh.
and the guy threw her
Cider and black.
and just threw her. And as she landed, she just fell on her knees, stood up, and just walked away like
Sprung
nothing
back.
happened.
Went up the wall, ran a bit.
Like nothing happened, just walked on.
I-
but he was bleeding.
One of a great thing happened to me one time. Me and my mate, I think it was maybe a Sunday afternoon. We happened to go into the Westport for a pint, and it's supposed to have been a football game on, but it had been cancelled.
Mm.
And
Mm.
they still had the halftime pies.
Oh,
So they came out with Ferrero Rocher advert.
oh,
Bit
just
pie.
pies. I've seen them like
and I
that.
had about fucking
A pyramid of
I
pies.
had about 20 pies.
There's nothing more
uh-huh.
posh in Dundee when
Uh-huh.
you see a pyramid of
A
pies.
pyramid of pies.
They're about this. They're about 2 foot tall on a big tray, and they come out, and you see people's eyes light up.
Graham Hancock sat there taking notes.
Notes, yeah. Who
Oh.
made these?
Who made these pies? Fuck off.
Wonderful. I've seen that. Another fight I saw with a band. A band was it? I can't remember what the circumstance. I think it was 5 or 6 bands were playing through the day, and this band went on. I remember the guy had this blue bass guitar,
Mhm.
and someone at the front kept pulling
Oh.
his strings.
Oh,
He went, what the fuck are you doing? This guy took this base off and like a cricket bat,
Oh, you could kill.
wham! I saw the guy lift off the ground, I swear 6 inches. He lifted up.
You could have killed somebody stone dead. That's a silly.
His face, I only remember red. I don't remember. To me, it looked like
That's
there was a hole in
really
his
silly
face.
thing to do.
But the police were there, everything he took off. The bass
the-
player took
Well,
off.
it's a fucking
But he could. I was like, you went to just kick him. But he went like wham! The guy came off the ground, and the whole audience went.
Bill
all froze.
Bill Wyman, as we know, was a fighter. Was a
Mhm.
lover, not a fighter. So
Oh,
he would have.
a very different situation. Right, let's get on with these.
More. Yeah.
Well, I've only done one.
Everyone's shit. Stick to it like that.
Dansk 404.
Okay.
Now, this was from Friday because it all came in a bit late.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Morning, gents. Hope all is well.
Gents.
Currently still mourning the loss of Steve the Jobby. Hope you all pull through it at this difficult time.
Ken, the thing is, mate, people have forgotten Steve the Jobby already. There's no armbands in this building.
Such is life.
life.
Have either of you seen any of the Doom Patrol TV series? I wonder it might be up
Oh,
either of your derelict in shady streets.
is Doom?
It's a robot guy. I'm gonna get through it.
No, I've seen it.
It's a robot. It's a robot guy who says fuck a lot. It's good. Carry on. Everyone said it's really good, but I've not had a chance to see it.
Yeah, it's got
Brendan Fraser's the
Brendan
robot
Fraser's a robot. I don't know if he's on set under
Yeah.
the role. I think he maybe just gives.
because he has a charming voice. He's got the
Yeah,
most charming
yeah.
voice.
It's very trippy kind of shit.
You know
The
what? I'm going to give
adventures-
it a go.
Yeah, give it a go, mate. It's got Timothy Dalton's in it. That's worth the watch. Old Timothy.
Mark Devlin. Oh, here we go. Morning, folkers, and good news for Jobby fans. Rumour has it Jobby was talent spotted and will be the lead actor in the next Hollywood blockbuster Braveheart Pooh. We won back Scotland, now win back the moon. Historians say it'll be mostly historically inaccurate. No, accurate. It's
I said, no, hold on. You could soften the Jobby in warm water and use it as woad because it was going a wee bit blue. It had been there for
it went. It was
It
the
was like a
hair
cheese.
coming out the
It
top.
was like a cheese, a blue cheese. Can you get that in a Stilton? Can blue Stilton you get that fungus, the mould?
I don't like this.
Well,
Oh, Andy. I'm not sure how Goron made the connection when he asked me if I like Jim Carrey. I do. There you go. You don't even remember that, do you?
I don't listen to it. Jim Carrey now is entered. He was Mr. Comedy, and he's comedy's dated. Whatever you think about him, I was never a massive fan. Kate Ross was a big fan of the Mask. Try and watch The Mask now.
Oh, I think The Mask is fantastic
no,
now.
No, I can't bear it.
I think it's
But,
fantastic.
I liked Cable Guy.
Didn't like it.
No, I enjoyed Cable
That was a Ben
Guy.
Stiller film.
I
yeah.
enjoyed the Cable Guy because he's kind of there's a manic quality. But he made this film set in Eastern Europe where he's a fucking detective, and
Yes,
it's the bleakest film you've ever seen.
really. He's got a beard in it.
He's got a beard in it. It's incredibly bleak. I think he lost his mind over that. Then Scientology sought to destroy him,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's an artist.
But Jenny McCarthy, I think, done a better job of that.
Does she not like him?
Well, no, she.
Jenny McCartney.
I think he was going out with her.
Jenny McCartney's a
So he's an
bastard.
anti-vaxxer like her. He is a full-on anti-vaxxer.
Is he?
Yeah. Full-on. Isn't that depressing?
No, but I've never heard him speak about that.
Ah, he has. He's brought it up.
Has
Check
he?
it out. Yeah, he's an anti-vaxxer.
He's Canadian, so he's a bit
That
bad.
explains
But
everything.
he makes art now, so he's got the money to do it. So he's got this massive studio, and wherever you like it, wherever you think about his art,
Mm-hmm.
he's a proper artist. He is a proper artist. He's doing it. He's got some itch that needs scratched. He's doing something.
And he's
with
doing it. That's
He's
fine.
doing it, and I think I watched a YouTube clip of him back in the day doing physical impressions of people.
Uh-huh.
And he does Jack Nicholson and stuff. No, he doesn't speak. He just he's remember Phil Cool.
Yes, he was very like
He
that.
was very like Phil.
The
Cool.
first film I saw him in, I was a kid, and it was Once Bitten, where he's Lauren Hutton's in it as this vampire who needs virgin
okay,
blood,
Okay.
and he's the virgin.
Oh no.
Watch it.
Okay.
It's worth a watch.
Oh, okay.
Chris McShadowins.
Oh no.
Good morning, gents.
Oof.
Set to open in May, a £3 million bowling centre is coming to Dundee.
No, it's
Was
never gonna
Dundee
happen.
so lacking in bowling lanes? Was it really
We've got-
needed, especially the city where the council has pissed away so much money? Dundee seems more likely to shut its doors than not. Also, Goron, free Friday night to come roller skating with me in Glasgow. I know how much he loves it.
Oh, it's just
Now, we had bowling in Dundee, then all of a sudden, just at once, everything shut.
Yeah.
And we've not had it for years. So two
The
places
bowling
have
was quite, I
opened.
hate it because of sport, but it was quite busy, wasn't it?
Busy.
The Zap Zone and that were all.
I think
quite-
it was the company that was running it,
Yeah.
ran it into the ground for like a
do we
venture
need
capitalist
enough-
came in and
Right
stripped it.
next to this building, there's a bowling place, but
Old people
old
bowling.
people bowls.
And it's quite
And
popular.
I've heard you can get a good night cheap drink in that place.
I could imagine, but
Mhm.
it's just people bowling.
Bowling, yeah.
I don't like
I
it.
don't think it'll happen like the Eden Project. It's just
No,
a-
it's private. It's a. There's
Well,
the
see-
new bowling up by mine already.
seemingly the observatory, and I think so far is saved. They're
It's
not going
saved.
to close it.
Okay.
Last night I was speaking to a guy that was in there, and he believes that the Earth is under a glass dome, and all
I couldn't do that. I
everything's
couldn't
a
be around
projection.
it.
So it
How
needs-
do you cope?
I don't. Rockets and that just bounce off the dome.
I just couldn't. Retro box room.
Uh-huh.
To the Jedi of Dundee. Genitals? Does that mean genitals? Is he calling me a
Sure.
cock? Okay, you two will do. Goron, did you say he'll do VR when you're pinning him down? Love the funniest Retro box room. You did say you would do VR at a point, and I know he has a new VR.
Do you know the
Quest 3.
film
Looks
with
great.
old Randy Josephine? Is it Joseph Fiennes?
Fines.
Fiennes.
Got you.
It's all VR headsets.
Strange Days.
Strange Days. I enjoy it. I watched it.
Is VR Squid.
Yeah, I really quite enjoyed it. It's quite bleak, but there's a guy,
Skunk and Nancy soundtrack.
him that raped himself to death, basic in real life. He
Mhm.
had one, and then he under his wig, and then he was like murdering people and watching their screams. It was all quite. So if I could do that to you, I'd be VR.
Angela Bassett in that. I like the look of
Bassett's
that film.
wonderful in that. Angela Bassett forgets she did a raunchy shower scene for Critters in Space.
We all should.
If you ever watch it,
She wants her Oscar.
you get your tits out. Hal Berry got her tits out for that Swordfish film, but she basically said it's 500,000 per tit.
Oh, I'd do it.
Angela Bassett,
I would do it for half
a
that.
fucking a puppet with teeth that look like that Scotty
Mhm.
dog. It just get your tits out, and she did it. There's nothing better because and I like Angela Bassett, but she's
Very
entered that
much.
stage in her career. She thinks she's like distinguished.
Distinguished.
So she showed up for the Oscars, and she thought she was going to win an Oscar for fucking
The
Black Panther 2.
A thing with robot rhinos in it. Nah, you're
Angela,
not.
just because you're just like
You're not.
Angela,
You're not.
Angela, come on, Angela,
You're not.
and her face when she never won it, furious.
I liked her in. She was in Contact as well. She had a great deal of
yeah.
gravitas in that. Okay,
Mhm.
get back to our story.
Okay.
The show last week I didn't get. Now,
Oh,
as we
I
were
don't-
telling you, we had some dealings with Perth Royal Infirmary last week, and when I was in, we were in the lift,
Okay.
and there was someone in the lift with us. And when they came out, it turned out it was the surgeon, and the surgeon was wearing the same hoodie as me.
I'd immediately turn around. I'd rather.
And
have,
I thought,
I'd rather have Fast Eddie operating. in
and
me.
I thought I could be a surgeon. I thought I could do this.
You're quite
So
clumsy.
I went down a little bit, but I went down. Well, I cut myself on a
That doesn't bode well, does it?
little basket yesterday, and I've got a flap of skin. There was blood out. I was bleeding that badly. I had to leave because you couldn't get blood over all the food and that. But anyway,
over the fruit,
oh, it was everywhere.
over the donut. Somebody goes, "This jam on this donut's a bit irony."
Not good. So I thought I could be a surgeon.
Eh,
The proof is there.
you're a
and-
bit old
The
to start.
exact same hoodies.
No, here's how you could do it. When I was
Okay.
in Glasgow, there was the guy that went to medical school, failed. And when you
Okay.
fail medical school, you can't go
That's
back
it.
again.
Yeah, that's it.
So he went back to school and pretended he was a school child, resat his stuff to try and get back into medical school again.
Oh my god,
That's what you could do because you dress like a child.
I'd get away with it.
As
And I've
long
got
as-
the natural
As
skill.
long are any schools in darkness, complete darkness.
I don't think they are. I think that may be.
There's an Arctic Circle.
But despite having a white beard now, I am quite boyish. So I went down my
Boyish.
usual ADHD rabbit hole on
You'd
the
be
internet.
boyish if you were if you're on the set of the Golden Girls.
Yeah. That's the way I look at
You'd
it.
be considered boyish.
Take away the white hair.
comparatively.
Take
and
away
the wrinkles.
The wrinkles.
and the
Take
bags
away
under your
the.
eyes.
Take,
and the loose neck skin.
take away that.
Take
Take
that
away
all-
the limp.
all that away.
Take away the hump.
but
take
your,
away the-
but your,
the
your,
bad-
your bones are all weak and
Take that away.
take that away.
Boyish.
Your blood's dried and can
I am but a
it's
child.
like your blood's like bong water.
Well. Anyway,
What a
listen.
child. Get in comparison to the universe, the
there's-
cosmos, you're young.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
a lot of syndromes and conditions out there
Mm-hmm.
that need more help and treatment. And
Like the food one, okay.
I think I'm going to get into these
Hold on.
and find cures.
Okay. But surgeons don't tend to do that. They're just bone setters.
I'm an extra.
you want to
I'm
be
an
a,
extra
so you
surgeon.
want to be a scientist.
No, I'm like, in NCIS where they work in a lab, but they also have machine guns.
You're like Doogie.
That's me.
You're like Doogie Howser, MD.
But you go out and solve crimes.
More like a Jack Klugman, a Quincy.
That's me. That's the way I'm looking at it. Now he.
Your hands are so cold and old. When you touch the corpse, they'd be.
Oh.
It's a bit cold. It's a bit cold.
So here's some of the syndromes and
Yeah,
conditions.
Okay.
So you think of this.
Derek syndrome.
Walking corpse syndrome. This is where it's also known as Cotard's or Cotard syndrome. A person believes they are missing their soul, organs, blood, or body parts, and patients can spontaneously experience complete recovery, even in severe cases. And I was watching one person, and they're like, right, so what are you telling us is wrong? And says, my hand's been taken away, and they're like, your hand's there. Do you feel that? And they go, yeah. And they go, so what's missing? And I went, my hand. And it's completely got. They can't see it. They can't. There's like both can
Cilla
are
Black.
simultaneous.
Cilla Black suffered from that.
Oh, what was she missing?
How else would you explain that singing?
Oh, that's true. She didn't know.
She just didn't know. She didn't know.
Did you ever see her the video of her doing Nirvana tracks?
Yeah, I've heard all of it. She's an absolute disease.
She was just
one of the worst people
worst.
that's ever lived.
Worst.
Honestly.
Watch the video. Cilla Black, Lionel Richie's dancing on the ceiling. It's
And a notorious piece of shit cunt
it's quite
bitch.
amazing.
Yeah. That would be weird. But I sometimes get migraines. Not as much as I've got older, as I've slowed down.
I've never had a migraine, but I can't take a headache. It makes
Yeah.
me so ill.
Yeah.
But I've never had a migraine.
But what's interesting is you get a migraine and then it fucks around with your vision. And what's fascinating is, say I looked at your face, there'd be bits missing,
Yeah.
but there's no black gaps. You just can't compute properly. So I can't see the hole.
Why are you looking at the hole?
The eyes.
Oh,
the
the
face.
complete.
You can't see it, but
Right.
it's just not there. It's your process.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
You know how you said
Mm-hmm.
when you imagine someone you don't see anything,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, I do. Well, I've done one of the tests to measure it, and you don't see anything, and there's 5 stages.
Mhm.
I'm right next to you because I get a flash of something,
Yeah.
but everything's black and I feel it.
Yeah. No,
But I thought I pictured it.
no, yeah.
But when you actually do the test, you're going, I don't picture anything.
No, I see nothing. I can see it. I can
see it,
I
but
can
you don't.
vision. There's no image.
Yeah.
I know it's there. I can kind of. Stuart E. Clark, he can close his eyes and see the thing like an image, like a still picture.
See, I don't. I get a split second of a,
Yeah,
and then I feel it.
yeah.
And I
yeah.
didn't realise that until
Yeah.
you actually think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not where I don't see it.
So you're
But I'm very
you're
close.
completely unaware. It's bizarre, isn't it?
I wasn't aware I didn't see things because I can picture
That's
it.
what every
but
time.
it's not picture it. That's the
every
wrong
time,
word.
Every time I take a shit, I take a photograph of it.
You need
Because
to
if
know.
I didn't, the memory's
I
gone.
couldn't take a photograph of what I'd done after that monster.
Oh,
I would have no friends.
it wouldn't show up on film.
Oh my god!
Oh,
It was.
like I had miasma.
It looked like,
Like one of
pebble
those-
dashing.
You know when Star Trek in the 60s would go to a planet, it was just a thing like that.
That's what it was like.
Kind of thing, Forbidden Planet, the thing that leaves the big feet.
Oh, it was terrible.
Fucking hell.
Still upset. Next one.
That sounds monstrous, but you know what I mean? So I
But-
understand your body.
But imagine you just
see
go,
it,
I've got no blood, and there's nothing.
you can see a thing without seeing it. Yeah. There's a disease. I think it was one case of a person that ate themselves, and actually, I think they were on crystal meth. or
How did they eat their head?
No, they're not the whole body. They,
Oh,
put,
right.
they put their hand and arm in an oven,
Oh my
pizza
god!
oven, and then ate it while attached.
people are, I don't know.
The human mind is very
But
fragile.
it was very interesting. I was watching this person. They were using a pen. They went, And they went, what hurt?
Oh.
They went, my little finger. They went, so what's missing? My hand.
Mm.
And it was just both. And when you're watching them, you could see they weren't lying. This was genuine.
No,
they couldn't.
Yeah, I can understand.
They
where
just
that comes
couldn't
from.
get it.
Terrifying,
Really,
yeah.
that worries me. So the
It's
next
like people. You walk down the street. We've supposed before you go, step in a crack, break your back.
Yeah.
So you just for yourself a mind exercise, or you'll say, right, I'll get to this lamppost before the bus passes me.
I am exhausted on my bike trying to race
yeah,
cars.
but it's just a thing. You choose to do it.
If I don't
Imagine-
do it,
yeah.
the world will end.
Yeah, but imagine if you couldn't not do it.
Oh, that's
OCD stuff. It's wild.
because we've all got that. Because I do
Yeah,
that.
all got the potential.
I just everything's a race. I get to that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do that.
Okay.
So, I thought I could fix this being a surgeon now
By
because I'm
doing
wearing a
what?
hoodie. Now I know there's people in mental health that listen to us. I know there's all sorts of things, and I would say, have you ever tried just going stop being weird, just quit it? Have you ever tried saying that? Fucking enough. You're mental. Now I don't know if that's politically correct, but it might be the kind of push that people need. I'm just saying. I'm not a doctor yet.
Is there
Maybe in a couple of weeks.
an argument for shame?
Yes. Yeah. It's
Embarrassment
weird,
and
but
shame.
there is. Yeah.
It keeps people in line, and society to a degree needs people to be at least in a slight line. And I think now, if you are utterly don't get embarrassed, you're like, kid.
But it must be one direction. You
Yeah.
can't. To shame someone is very destructive. But if you feel shame for something, that's different.
But yeah,
And to a degree, you don't want people feeling shame
No,
for
no.
things they shouldn't.
but it's embarrassment.
Murder.
You shouldn't. For other people, when you're sitting at a table in a work environment eating, you can't have somebody that just fucking does whatever they want, and you have to adapt to their behaviour.
Yeah. Look, you said something the other week, and it was like, do you remember something that's made you embarrassed when you think about it? All comes
painful.
back.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I heard someone that said they had a cure for that.
Right.
And all you have to do is really think about how long you think about someone after they die.
Right.
And then you realise it's completely pointless. And if you take that thought and think about it every time you think of past embarrassment, it actually disappears.
No, the human.
You just go, it's pointless.
The human condition is you're a person within your skull.
Yeah.
So you think everybody's thinking about you.
No one's thinking
Nobody's
about
thinking
you.
about you.
Nobody.
Nobody's thinking
And
about
the
you.
thing that you done was embarrassing.
But they've all
They
forgot.
weren't embarrassed.
No.
So if they're not embarrassed by it, they don't experience what you experience
it's
completely
same.
on your own.
It's like friends of mine who got bullied at school, and they've just spent their life trying to, like, I'll show those fuckers. I'll do stuff. It's driven them in many ways. And they want to get revenge. The bully's forgotten
Don't
all
even
about
know.
them. Don't even remember.
Don't even know they were bullying, maybe.
Yeah.
And this is the thing.
Don't worry about other people.
Don't worry.
We're all
Next
ghosts
one.
in the shell. Forget about it.
Next one I'm going to cure. Jumping Frenchmen of Maine. There was a group of French Canadian lumberjacks, right? And they suffered this condition where they would just spring into the air. They're sitting having their dinner and they'd spring into the air and
Lead.
it'd set them all off.
It's lead, isn't it?
Then if someone slammed the door, they would all just fall down.
Yeah.
And this is like a hysteria thing, or there was, but it was
Lead.
never.
Lead and tinned food about you.
But it was effectively treated with benzodiazepines. I can't read it.
Well, it's like that, the medieval dancing plagues.
Yeah,
And it's like a monkey, somebody would start dancing and they would dance till they were dead.
and they just couldn't
And
stop.
others would copy. I think there was often, though, kind of the royal train was coming through your town, the royal medieval times, because they would arrive and they would just eat the place out.
Right.
The Queen of France wouldn't stay in the palace because it was expensive. She'd travel the country like a
Okay.
fucking, like all royal families.
Yeah.
They're just parasites. Well, towns would pretend to have the plague. And they would stick
right.
fake boils on, oh, and she, oh, we better not go there.
That's kind of wonderful.
Genius. Wonderful.
There should be a film.
Uh-huh.
Mark Sturton, I know you're listening.
Come on, Big Mark.
Next film,
Uh,
the Royals are coming to Scotland, and all the town gets together to make their own warts and shit.
no, because that's how
It's just
Aberdeen
the-
is.
Aberdeen's like,
And the Royals do visit.
well, extras are free.
Uh-huh.
You just turn up.
Oh, big start, and he was saying
Yeah,
big numbers.
big numbers.
We've had an impact.
Oh, that's good.
If the only thing we've achieved in this fucking art project is to bolster fucking Sturton's produce.
Absolutely.
I'm all on board
I'm
for
all
it.
on board. And his
I'm
wee
on-
little red robot
Oh, yeah.
spaceship in space and everything. Love it.
He's a wacky bastard.
Love it. He's a weirdo. But it's
He'll be
good.
listening to this.
That's who we need in this country. Now,
For example,
yeah.
my cat wakes me up at 7 o'clock every morning.
Okay, that's
Better than any alarm clock.
that's quite
He
good
start-
time.
but he's on the button all the time. This morning, for whatever reason, he started making these noises at 6:30. And I
Mhm.
said to him, Joe, shut the fuck up. Because he clicks his claws in the bottom of the bed. I go, stop doing that. And then he keeps, and then and then he'll walk round the house. And I'm like fuming. So I always pretend to sleep, and I fell back asleep
Mhm.
again. And I woke up, and he'd his tongue right inside my ear, right inside.
Oh my god.
And it made me think of fucking Sturton's ear vomit.
that was
So I
to
was
get
thinking
back
of
to
I was
that.
thinking of Mark this morning.
There you go, Mark. While you
There
were
you
in
go.
bed getting a tongue in your
Get
ear.
tongue by my cat. Such a rough wee tongue.
Doctor Strangelove syndrome.
Okay.
Now I watch someone
Uh-huh.
and they're right. Could you write a little paragraph about your condition? So it's the guy's sitting there, so he starts writing, and his left hand starts pulling it away, and he's and he's fucking. Then he gets in a fight
Oh no.
with his own hands
No.
from left to right, and they're fighting
That's
each
just
other,
bollocks.
and you're like, that isn't bollocks. The guy's like completely out of control.
It's like people who kind of wake up, they've had a stroke and end up speaking with like a Chinese accent or a
Well,
French accent.
I think what that is, because you get people waking up from a stroke, not being able to speak right, and occasionally the parts missing makes it sound like an accent, but it's not an accent. Because if you listen
I've
carefully,
heard ones that sound a bit French.
but if you listen carefully, and to someone
Have you
who's had a
seen-
stroke, it
have
sounds
you-
very similar.
Have you seen the lassies that say they've had the COVID jab and they're like that?
That's the funniest
And
thing.
it's fake, you faking bastard.
And they're just shaking. Well, they done it where they followed one person, and they were in the interview, and they're going like that, and then it was all over. And then they watched her go, and then she was walking with her walking sticks, put them in the car, and just drove away.
Fuck.
Just
Fuck
nothing
her.
wrong with her.
Should be jail for that fucker.
I agree.
I watched I watched a thing that annoyed me so much. It's a cruise ship. Family is on the cruise with the step granddad's there with him,
Mm-hmm.
and he decides to take the kid to look at the side of the ship. 11 stories up.
I know.
Drops her. Splash.
Yeah.
Killed. And that fucker, rather than taking responsibility, says it's not his fault. And he's a lying
Yeah.
fucking turd.
Yeah.
A fucking piece of shit. And they've got this piece of shit lawyer involved. And I'm no defending the company, the cruise liners. So I'm not a big fan of cruise ships.
Okay.
But those lying fucks. Imagine if you dropped. God forbid, if my mother and father did something so stupid and killed one of their grandchildren, my dad would just they'd be
It's the end.
suicidal.
Right.
They would just say, put me in a jail.
Here's what happens.
But this fucker, his first instinct's like, it's no me.
Yeah.
Not my fault.
That's weird.
You turd.
Because you see a kid, something happens to a kid,
Yeah.
it's not the parent's fault.
Yeah.
And the parent went, I turned my back for a second.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have shot. I should have.
They blame.
They take the blame for everything.
But this cunt is 100%
And they're like,
to
yep,
blame.
Nothing to
Nah,
do with me. I've seen
it's
it.
the company. And it was all the lies. And they've got footage of him fucking dangling a baby like Michael Jackson.
Out a window.
And he'd had a few drinks.
Yeah.
So he just dropped it. Unbelievable thing.
Yeah.
That man I would have respected him if he'd fucking thrown himself off immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Terrible.
fair enough. But no. Disgusting human being. Furious. And the poor mother and father. Because how do you deal with someone as horrific?
You can't.
Do you blame yourself? Well, you go mad.
Well, they'd blame
because
themselves.
they left him with this fucking idiot.
The first thing they'll do is blame themselves.
And
then
He's had
what a
5 or
disaster.
6. He's been stopped 5 or 6 times for not having a seatbelt on. And people think, oh, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it does mean
means rules
something.
don't apply to me.
Yeah.
I know better.
Piece of shit.
And they said he was an elderly man.
Mm-hmm.
That his lawyer's like, he's just an elderly man, and he's 51 years of age when he did it.
What?
51 years of age. And he looks
I
quite
didn't know
looks
that.
old, so they've said he's an elderly man. Grandpops, and he's just 51.
Piece of shit.
Don't watch YouTube videos like that.
Upset you.
Yeah.
And by the way, if everyone's watching this and you'll notice that you're wearing an apron, That's the first apron I ever made.
It's the patina on it. It's right
beautiful.
greasy.
Look at it. It's right. That's a proper working one, though.
Yeah.
You've got your good one for like weddings and funerals.
I like to wear my good one when I'm in the buff. And what I like to do is my neighbours.
Yeah.
I've got my barbecue.
Oh, don't.
And I face them and I go, Jim, Gloria. Mm-hmm. And they're like, all right. And then I go to walk into the house. Bare arse. With a
you imagine
sausage just clenched between my arse cheeks.
It looks like you're taking a shit.
My shite doesn't look like sausages. It's like a cuddly word.
Alice in Wonderland syndrome.
Oh,
And this is Todd syndrome. Affects perceptions of size and distance. Seeing objects of people as very
that's
big,
fascinating.
very small,
That's
or further
really-
away than they actually are.
That must be very
They can
rare.
also experience an accurate sense of time passing, either very slowly or quickly. Now, I was at the car rental place, and the guy came in, and his wife came in before him and says, my husband's very large, and we can't get him a van to drive because he's so large. And we're like, well, we have a couple of long wheelbase sprinters. They're the biggest ones in height and that. So if you bring him in, he says, oh, he's out there. He's just waiting around. I went, oh, okay, well, just come down the back and I'll go and bring the van forward. I'm dead nice. So down,
No, really, but
this guy comes down.
normal.
He's about 3 inches shorter than me. And I'm like,
Fat.
no, like my size. So I'm like, okay.
But did he think he was large?
What happened is he got to the van and he put his hand on it and he ducked to get in and he got his, and I watched this man struggle, but because it was so genuine, he had something wrong with him. I could see he couldn't fit in the van. He could fit in fucking miles of room.
But
And he
did the
went,
wife?
nah, sorry.
Because
She went along with it.
I worked with a guy, Brian, lovely guy, biggest bullshitter you've ever met. And his wife would agree with all these stories. It was contagious. She thought they were all real as well.
This woman completely agreed and sort of explained them away. So I went into the office.
What do you deal with? In
And
that
when he went
situ-
in the office, the door was the height of this, just a
Uh,
normal 7-foot door.
I couldn't. I would have
He
to
put
say.
his hand on it and he went under it, and he's up like that. He's going, oh, and he's squeezing everything. He saw his way squeezing through
I'd have
things
to,
in
I'd
life.
have to say, what the fucking hell are you
and I'm
doing?
like, but I didn't know what to say.
I'd say, what the fucking hell are you doing?
So I pulled out 4 different vans for him, and he
Aye.
couldn't fit in them. He couldn't
No, I
fit in
wouldn't.
them. It was so.
I'm afraid.
But when you watched him, it was fucking genuine.
I'm nice to people,
wasn't
but no,
faking
I'm
it.
just saying, no, I'm not getting involved in this shit.
You know, how some people you go, what are you on about? But he was like, he was disappointed. He couldn't fit in anything, and
Was it? Did they have a camera? Was it all like a skit?
oh
Was-
no,
no.
no, this was genuine.
Oh.
So the girl in the office says, if you take a seat for a minute,
Uh,
we'll see if there's anything else available, because we didn't
no,
know what
what I
to
would
say.
do is I say, what we'll do is we'll take the van and stretch it,
Yeah.
and I would have stood under the van and just, oh, look at doors getting big. Oh,
Well, see, I
yeah.
never thought of that, but I
Aye.
was just like, what did I do?
Yeah, maybe he thinks
But
the world's like elastic.
He went to sit down, and
Aye.
when he sat down, he just sat down in a normal seat. He went, oh, a bit low. And he felt he was on the ground and his knees were
That'd
up
be a
high.
balance thing.
And
A
but
good
he would
slap.
sit like this.
Just slap him in the face.
So all bunched up because the room was too small for him.
Oh, that's terrifying.
But that I've often wondered, is
Imagine
it
the
this condition?
Imagine the horror of living with that man.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Maybe he's got a tiny penis and it was just a coping mechanism.
But and I watched him struggle.
Mm.
And he went to get in the door and he went, oh, I can't fit in this one.
Dundee.
And I laughed.
Remember that fat wee bastard
But-
in Dundee had the condition he was always late, and he got a note from the doctor. He couldn't be early. It was just it was a psychological.
See, now that sounds like
No.
bullshit.
But he had a They got him at the NHS.
You get a
that
sick
sounds
note.
like bullshit. Like a man that thinks he's fucking giant.
You're always late. Where's your sick note?
He just couldn't be on time, so they gave him a pass for taxis. I saw him one time. He couldn't be employed.
Wait, he got mobility because he was late.
he's pathologically
Do
late.
you know the amount of things I'm shit at, and I should get mobility now?
Yeah,
Holy
he was
shit!
He'd a medical pass because he was always late. His timekeeping was so bad. Little fat guy looked a bit like Penfold. Late.
Fish odor syndrome. Right, this is not so good. Urine, breath, and sweat smells of fish There's no cure, but it could be managed. And I don't think they really know what
I
causes
remember
it.
many years ago on TV. There's
Like when
man,
a cat yawns on you.
Yeah, there's a man. It smelled. There's a man. It smelled. His body odor was so abhorrent. Smelled like shit.
Oh.
And there's nothing they could do. They checked him. He's perfectly healthy, but
Mhm.
just his body chemistry
Just
stank
something.
of shit, and appallingly. So he would smell up any room. Couldn't work because people couldn't work with him. So they were trying to find him a job, in the countryside by himself. But he didn't like being outdoors.
He's out of luck then.
There was
I
just
like
no,
it being in an office.
Yeah. Oh, you ever worked with really stinking cunts?
Oh, yeah. There was
It's one of the worst things.
I was working at a taxi firm, and
Ah.
when the guy came in and he got out the car, the
Stamp.
BO, it was on everything.
Oh yeah, grease. Yeah.
It was on everything. And I got this disinfectant spray for the Mercedes.
All the Febreze. and what-
Everything got.
Yeah.
And you spray it, you left the door open, you shut it, you opened it the day later, stinking of BO.
Oh,
You couldn't get. So he wasn't allowed in any other car. There was only one car.
I worked with a guy and his feet were
Oh.
so overpowering. But like 3 times a day, take his shoes off and put foot powder on them. But it stank. But it was like a greasy smell, like a trash bin fire. Kind of like
Oh.
plastic.
Yeah.
Again, it was that. It really coated your nostrils.
Oh my God,
Oh.
that's bad. But yeah, I remember
You'd
the
hope somebody
BO.
would tell you.
But the thing is, the guy was always clean. He was always. It
Yeah,
was just I think he had an
Chemical
issue.
imbalance, yeah.
Right, so not good. So,
Oh.
but if you go to places like Japan and that, people have a sort of fish smell. But if they
think
come here, we smell
like
of
milk.
sick.
We smell like milk.
yeah,
Yeah.
we smell of milk. So there's a lot of what you eat in that.
Yeah. If you eat a lot of curries, you've smelt people whose diet's primarily curry based and they have a kind of spicy.
Now, on the next one,
What do I smell like?
not good. I
Pot
said
noodle.
if you just maybe say to people, stop it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there'll be a lot of people going, that's not how you treat mental illness. Listen to this. Exploding head syndrome.
Oh,
You hallucinate gunshots, symbols, or explosions, and it can happen up to 7 times a night, wakening you
that'd
up.
be not nice. That's not nice.
Horrible.
Horrible.
Do you know how they cure it?
What?
A doctor will tell them it's not harmful, it does nothing wrong, and
Yeah.
it'll go away. Clears up.
I watched one, a very good one. It's people had a terror of flying.
Yeah.
So this airline had a special service. They'd get like 20 of them on a plane and they'd fly them. And then there was the pilot obviously.
An extra
fly-
chain on the door,
Yeah.
eh? Jesus.
But the pilot would fly the plane, but there's a second pilot,
Mhm.
and he would say that noise, that's the landing gear. That
Mhm.
noise, it's a gearing thing, and
Just
explain the entire
explaining it.
flight.
Knowledge is everything,
And
yeah.
they were all. It really, really helped. Really, really helped.
But you
But
don't like
see,
flying.
No,
What
I
is
hate it.
What is
I
it about
don't
it?
like heights. In a plane, you're up high, mate. It's not complicated.
So what's it about heights then?
Well, you fall off a height, you die like a
Well,
wee
here's the
baby on
thing,
a
right?
dock.
I've been climbing for years. I'll be up 100 foot, not tied on. I feel nothing.
Maybe you could have fallen and been dead. Your chances is a 50-50.
Well, I did fall from standing, and that's when I
All-
got hurt. The worst.
All climbers, if they climb for long enough, will die. All those guys, the real top
they
end,
kind of don't.
they all do.
They kind of don't.
Those speed climbers, they're all fucking dead.
They're well.
If you're going
not-
up there without rope,
They're not all dead.
Eventually,
I
they'll
think
die.
you feel they're going to
No,
die.
it's like those.
It's not base jumping.
It's like those,
they die.
They all die.
They die.
They all die.
They die. There's no doubt. But no, the climbers. There's
Well,
Alan
what-
Robert.
what's
He's
the-
still going in
what's-
his 60s.
What's the thing about Boeing? Boeing, the planes are shit now. They're just falling bits. The doors
Yeah,
come
they
loose.
just fall apart. It seems.
Bean counters run Boeing, not engineers, and it's fucked it right up. Boeing were like the creme of planes. No,
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 not now.
shite.
Not now.
Shite.
Not
So
good.
fuck them. Fuck
So
them.
that's exploding.
That's not
heads.
People who are scared of little house spiders. That's an irrational fear. Being scared of a great height.
But
It's
wait
not
a
an
minute.
irrational fear.
But wait a minute. When you're in a plane, do you know the odds of anything happening to you? You go in a car and you don't think about it, but the odds of anything happening are like millions to one in a plane. It's
yeah.
the safest form of travel.
So they say.
So
I
that's,
don't
you
like
know,
people, and I don't want to die with like 500 other people. I
I
don't want.
understand
I
that.
don't
That's
wanna-
different. You
I don't
can't-
want to share the problems.
Although the very last time I flew to the States, there was me and 2 other people on the plane.
Yeah, they're looking at you. I do not want to go down with that fucker over there. That
It was-
cunt.
That
Please.
was an airline that's now long gone. I think Continental
Aye,
was
well,
it?
Funny that. Mhm.
And I just went on and thought, well, where's everyone? That
Yeah.
was, and
What was that?
the plane's pushing back,
That
and there's
ha-
no one on it.
That happens quite a lot.
But it's incredibly expensive
Yeah.
to fly a plane.
There is a reason for it.
And my ticket, yeah, because if they don't fly it, they lose the slot.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's it. But
Yeah.
my ticket was only 350 quid.
Wow.
And they made no money
Bet
off
there was
it.
nobody in the cockpit.
Their stuff.
Nobody in the cockpit.
It was
Save
great because when the flight attendants came around, they were just like, "Oh, there's just loads of shit and
Right.
wine." I didn't pay for anything. It was one, so I got free drinks and
Yeah,
that
that's good.
because there was just no work for them. So they just sat up the front blethering.
Leather.
So the final syndrome. This is one that I would like,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of sounds amazing. Okay,
Right.
Jerusalem syndrome.
Uh-huh.
This can happen to anyone. You don't need to be religious. But when you visit the Holy Land, it triggers obsessive ideas about religion, even messianic delusions.
Jesus.
Yeah, listen to this. You start cleaning obsessively, wearing white robes, pontificating about religion, just
Putting
nonsense.
a nail through the palm of your hand.
Right? All that, sermonizing, but you return to normal in 5 to 7 days.
Mm.
And the vast majority of people go, what the fuck was I thinking?
Mm.
They actually get really embarrassed by it. That's one of the signs that you've had it. And that's made me think. Say you're a tour guide
Uh-huh.
on a bus
Uh-huh.
in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
You're prepared for someone to stand up going, I'm Jesus. So you'll have a seat and a cold drink. You're ready for them to put, you're at the Wailing Wall.
It's a Messiah. He's not. He's just a naughty boy.
Exactly.
Something like that.
It's like that. But,
They need a taser. Just taser.
well, I was thinking, I bet at the Wailing Wall, there's a nice wee deck chair under a bit of shade and a cool drink. And someone's going, I'm Jesus. And they went, here's another one.
It's a queue, but 40 or 50
And I
of
bet
them.
every tour guide in Israel has a story of someone thinking they're Jesus. Every single one of them. But isn't that funny that there's a condition?
But is it the same? Is there not delusions from different religions?
I don't know.
I think madness can mean if you have this delusion of grandeur, you think you're the Godhead.
Yeah.
If you're a Buddhist, do you think you're someone else? Is everyone different? I wonder
I
who's the
suppose.
maddest people in religion. Who have the most mental problems?
Oh God.
Because the whole Christian thing, we nailing a guy to a piece of wood, it's quite a punchy image, isn't it?
Let's they go for it.
It's punchy.
But it's like I was just thinking of some poor fucking in his 20s bus
Yeah,
driver
oh.
taking tourists.
Oh,
The woman behind him, you could see she's she's speaking in tongues.
oh no,
And then, oh God, would that set other people off?
possibly.
So you've got 5 Jesuses on a bus. He's
Right.
going, everyone sit down, keep your seatbelts on. You're not Jesus, you're a very naughty boy.
Ah.
What do you do?
I know.
I would turn that bus around straight back to the hotel.
Off a
There's
cliff, just
5
off,
Jesuses on it.
straight off a cliff.
So there are people on the other side of the world that experience a mental
I
illness
saw
that's not anywhere
I
else.
saw a TikTok video, and it was a guy, and he dressed himself like Jesus. He'd made a cross out of beer crates full of beer, and he's walking down the street like that, cracking open tins.
That's
Brilliant.
classy.
A mate of mine for university, he dressed like Jesus and went about Glasgow on an Old Firm match day with like
Mhm.
a paper mache cross, and the whole works.
Oh, that's putting effort in, isn't
People
it?
took umbrage with him.
I'm sure they would.
They
But
took umbrage.
have you seen, you look through stories and
Yeah.
shorts and that,
Yeah.
and it's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh no.
His
It's
adverts
for
for
the
praying.
faith.
It's for a fucking app.
Blinded a shopkeeper.
It's like,
He's a twit.
I thought
I
you
don't think he did blind a shopkeeper, but he beat up a shopkeeper.
And he wants pardon for it. He wants it all taken off his
No,
record.
no.
It was a racist attack.
It's a racist
Fuck
attack.
it, that's
He's
what
a
you-
big twat.
Yeah.
Have you seen him lately, though? He's got an old face but this young body.
Well, the problem is,
I
if
think
you-
he's utterly shite.
people have tried to follow his routine for the day. He gets up at 4 to
Aye.
pray,
Right.
and then he goes and works out for 2 hours. Then he prays some more. Then he works some more. Then eats. Then prays. And it's just praying and
It's-
eating. And
That's an addictive.
Lifting-
Was he on Smack before?
I think he is now.
Because
to
a
be
lot
like
of
that.
folk who are... He's got a company called Wahlburgers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fuck off.
And I believe the girl that makes the cupcakes business for that also is a machine gun model. It's just a mix of.
Because I saw him, because it's his Ash Tuesday, he had the piece of ash in the middle of his forehead or something.
Yeah.
I don't know the
when
weird. He's like a PR guy for the Catholic Church. It needs a bit of help.
I remember meeting lots of people.
Maybe Taylor Swift would be better than Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
Finding a celebrity.
I think
We
so.
reach.
but they had marks all over their
Yeah.
head, and it was like ash, and it wasn't. It was that. Do you remember that guru with the big afro that would pull Rolexes?
Oh, yeah.
And he went, oh, and he'd lift the curtain. He went, where did this Rolls Royce come from? Yeah, and they were all following him, and I was like, all right, because they would get. That's one of his tricks. He used to have these urns, and there was nothing in it. And then he'd turn it up again, all this ash fell out.
Oh, God.
And it was just a trick, obviously, you know. But they would send the ash around the world, and people would get this and put it on their head, and they really believe. To this day, they still. He's long dead, but they still believe him. They still believe him, and he'd go, "Ooh, a Rolex,
Oh, God.
a Rolex."
Because the fucking, what's his name? Yuri Geller. His shit's just the same.
For a period.
The one thing I can say about him is he's never been a cult leader.
No, he hasn't.
That's
That's
the one
true.
thing in his
But-
favour.
For quite a period, recently, he was saying, "No, I'm not. None of these things. It's not
I'm an
psychic.
entertainer.
I'm an entertainer." But slowly, he's went back again.
His own family think he's an idiot.
He's just. But see the money he's made. He made a Rolls Royce covered in, welded to it, bent spoons and forks. You can't drive it
Imagine
anywhere.
if it hit you.
You're just. I went for an MOT yesterday, and if they find a little bit of turned up metal, you fail.
Right.
That's never going to get through an MOT.
It certainly is not.
It's ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my initial steps into becoming a surgeon.
No, hold on a minute. But you said some issues,
Yeah,
but you have no solutions.
I told you, just stop it. Enough. And they even agreed with me on one. They said to you, don't worry about it, it's all right, and it goes away. One of them, when you think you're Jesus, just wait a few days. Wait it out. What I'll do is I'll provide the seat,
You and
a
I,
folding chair,
you
and a
and
cold
I,
drink.
well, 33 Jesus was. Well, I don't think he actually existed, but 33.
Yeah.
We've outlasted him.
That's true.
No, good going.
People say he sacrificed himself. Last I checked, he got grassed on and hauled off.
Yeah.
That's not sacrificing
No.
yourself.
Oh.
And here's another thing. He turned up 3 days later. You sacrificed shit. I'm just saying,
I
you know.
Showed up in
I gave money to Live Aid
Just
when
think-
I was a kid. £1 I gave them.
Do you know?
That's sacrifice.
Do you know that Live Aid in this country,
Mm-hmm.
it's Sir Bob Geldof and all that shit. It's vaunted event. Everybody's saying wonderful.
Yeah.
All these everyone else abroad thinks it's a big con,
Yes.
and the money now it's
And
famously
it was a con.
famously a con. The money
Yeah.
never went anywhere.
Never went anywhere.
And Ethiopians were fighting a war with Eritrea. There was a part of Ethiopia that was starving.
But do you know the people you saw that was
Yeah.
starving?
Yeah.
They were Ethiopian Jews. And they were getting pushed out. But I believe Israel flew planes in to take them to Israel, and they're still there. There's a whole story behind
Yeah.
it. It's not what
Yeah.
we were told
Yeah.
didn't happen.
No, but it's famously a con job.
Yeah.
Everywhere else apart from the UK.
Then there was the one, it was the Turkish Kurds, and that was Chris Ria and what's the guy, the politician guy, Archer, Jeffrey Archer.
him.
They raised all this money. Money gone.
Jeffrey Archer.
Money gone.
Jeffrey Archer, I think, said he won a gold medal in the Olympics. He's a notorious proven liar
He just makes shit
of the
up.
highest order.
He just makes
I
shit
watched
up.
a thing and it haunts me to this day. I noticed Channel 4 are redoing it again. But they had celebrities in like a jury, and there was a rape case. And it was actors in the jury.
Okay.
The thing was acted, and they were giving their opinion on it. And it was about a woman who'd been raped twice by this guy. And Jeffrey Archer thought the mechanics of it wasn't right. He goes, when a man comes,
Oh,
and he
God,
just
no.
Not
good.
that was it. Can I ick? Can I speak of ick?
But if you don't know about the Live Aid story,
famously
look
a
back
con.
into it.
And everybody did
It's
it.
incredible.
Everybody did it because it all benefited their fucking thing.
Because I remember the crops failed, this, and we were told all sorts, and it was like,
Yeah.
it was
There's-
a completely
You've got to
different
remember
story.
there's enough food going about for everybody. So if people are starving, somebody's not sharing it. Come on, I'm saying.
That's right. There was a
Remember that butter mountain back in the day?
go skiing on it.
There's a thing today, and I might go hell for this.
Oh, here
But,
we go.
yeah.
Here we go.
There's a thing about allergies, and
Right.
it's saying allergies are now. When I was at school, no kid in my class had an allergy. Nobody. I think it was maybe one asthmatic kid and one fat kid.
That was
And it's the same with you. There was no.
yeah.
You went to the canteen, you got the same slop as everybody else, no special diets. But they're now saying everybody's got milk and nut and fucking wheat, all these.
I think naturally allergies come as you get older.
Yeah.
As you hit mid-40s, you'll
But I
start
think
becoming a bit intolerant
I'm
to things.
led to believe a lot of babies, they get reactions to maybe the first time you feed a kid an egg,
Yeah.
they might come out in a wee rash, but
Yeah.
you don't want to have a severe allergy. It's not going to be good for your life. So anyway, this poor woman's child died within shock, and the school weren't to blame. It was just they don't know what happened. There's a school, and this is becoming more and more, where they ban things. So there's maybe a kid in the class who's allergic to nuts, right?
Yeah.
None of the other kids are allowed to have any nuts. There was one school that has
Yeah.
banned milk and nuts. Now, if some cunt in my class had an allergy when I was a
Mhm.
wee kid, and I wasn't allowed my Magnum, no, my
You'd go
topic,
crazy.
I'd have killed them.
You killed them.
Now, what
would
do you
have gave
think
them a
about
nut.
that? Okay, we've been speaking about.
Well, I had a family member
Should
who
the
actually
whole
died of a nut
Yeah,
allergy.
but should the whole
And
school?
It's a difficult
Can you
one.
force that on people?
No, but I do know that the way
Because
that
milk.
my family
Imagine
member
a
died
school
of
that
it.
bans milk.
That's.
And milk is so good for growing
But I think I
bodies.
can understand it. Now, not that but
Yeah,
this
yeah,
girl, my cousin, actually died,
yeah.
and it was just basically very light contact from
Yeah.
it. So you can understand that. But we're not talking that. You're just sort of talking like allergies where you get the farts or something.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. I
don't
think
know how
that
you
doesn't
can-
help.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't think
sure.
it helps.
I can imagine taking cheese off me when I was at school with my partner. No, you can't have that. Imagine checking kids as part lunch.
You'd kill someone.
I would have bitten them in the face.
Bitten them on the top
I
of the
says,
head.
You can take my cheese, but I'll kill you. And I would have said that to anybody.
I've even tried putting my mouth on the top of someone's head
You
to see if
can't
I
get-
can, but you
get
can't
a
do it.
bite.
I watched her take a lump of flesh out.
How
Looking
you-
back on it,
The older you get, the more you can bite the back of your hand because it's loose. But the head.
I've always been able to do that. The
I-
head,
I could bite the top of your head because
mine's is wrinkled.
you've got those big thick wrinkles.
Yeah,
I could get my teeth either side of it.
and just lift it up.
But a nice
Maybe that
smooth
guy.
head.
But this
no.
guy was bald, and I
Ah,
just
smooth.
couldn't believe my eyes.
Jesus, did
There
you
was one.
swallow the bit?
She got up like a vampire, and I thought her mouth was black. It was
Oh,
dark. It was
oh.
blood,
Jesus.
and everyone's going to her. You're right. What the fuck are you doing?
Could
Calm
you
down.
bite off one of your own fingers for £1,000,000?
No. Why would you fucking ask that?
I just think
I'm trying to be a surgeon. This is not the sort of. This is not the sort of conversations
because
a
I've asked you
surgeon
before,
has.
could you eat a piece of shit for £1,000,000? You said no.
No, I wouldn't.
I would.
You would eat a human shit. Someone's walked up the stairs. They've had a wee
For
fart.
£1,000,000.
£1,000,000
Yeah.
means nothing to me.
But think of the good you could do. You're always going on about you'd like to help people. Imagine the good you could do with that.
I'd spend most of it on therapy because I took a shit in my fucking.
I wouldn't eat one of your shits.
Oh, too late!
I'd
Too
eat
late!
no,
No, too
I'd
late.
eat anybody else's shit in the
Right,
world.
I've just had. No.
Anybody else's shit.
Hold on. Right, listen, close your eyes.
Mm.
I've got a monster drink. I drink it within 15 minutes.
That's not eating. That's drinking.
Diarrhea
That's
into
drinking.
a cup. No,
That's-
no.
I said eat.
I'll give you a spoon.
I said eat.
I'll
I
give you
said
a
eat.
spoon.
I didn't say
Do you
drink.
drink soup?
I said eat.
Do you drink soup?
Yes, I drink
no,
soup.
Ladies and gentlemen, fucking
I
hell.
would eat fucking anybody in the planet shit. And I'm going back in time. I would eat one of Bella Emberg shits.
But not my diarrhea shit.
I wouldn't. No, it's not. It's not the texture.
I'll thicken it up.
It's just
I'll put
'cause
some
it's
corn
you.
flour in it.
It's just because it's you.
Until next time, later.
Tata. Wash